Hey boo, this is the Ms.FitVegan podcast, episode 384. This is going to be a quick one. I just wanted to say that, as I always say, there is nothing unhealthy about eating cooked fruit or vegetables, right? I always say this to my clients, and I always try to remember to say this in interviews because I know that 99.99999% of people out there are not interested in being raw, but 100% of people out there are interested in being healthy. And healthy means, sure, you can absolutely eat some cooked food. Why not? I just want to say this real quick, okay? I just want to say, yeah, you can eat fruit and vegetables raw or cooked or steamed or baked or broiled or dehydrated. But there is a magic to raw fruits and vegetables that you will never understand until you only eat raw fruits and vegetables. There is a magic. There is a je ne sais quoi? No, I don't know what that means. There's a vibration. I'm not talking woo-woo. There's a real vibrational difference between a baked apple and a fresh apple. When you put in the vibration of raw foods, magic happens. I'm going to try to remember to talk about this more in interviews and on my YouTube because it's the reason why I'm a raw foodist and I always will be. Once you experience magic, you can never go back. I don't know the words. I guess I shouldn't do a podcast if I don't have the words to say it, but it's a feeling. When you eat raw, you will feel very, very different. I like to say sometimes that I felt alive for the first time in my life when I just ate raw. And your food addiction, your binging, your cravings, they will go away. If you can master the raw food diet, which you absolutely can, if I can do it, you can do it, your cravings go away because you only crave what you're eating. If you last long enough just eating fruit and vegetables, nuts and seeds, mostly fruit, then the cravings go away forever. Well, yeah, if you eat the cooked food again, you'll start having cravings for cooked food again. Absolutely. But until you eat that cooked food, you don't want it anymore. And the thing that I always try to tell people is it's still going to look good and it's still going to smell good and it's still going to be appealing to you if you're hungry. Okay, yesterday I was in the car. Awa, me, and her cousin were in the car, and I was in the back seat. And Awa had these snacks for the road. And I love her so much, but it still boggles my mind that she lives with me, but, she'll never be raw. She says it every day. But, there's so many bananas in the house, like baby Namwa bananas. And they're so delicious. But instead, she took chocolate, pistachios, and some chips instead. Didn't take any bananas. And I made a big smoothie, and I had something else. I can't remember now. Grapes or some cherries. But she wanted what she wanted, right? She doesn't want fruit, and I understand it. I get it. But the point is that I was in the back seat. And the lunch, I had finished my smoothie a long time ago. We actually made a detour to pick up my mangoes, by the way. Picked up 100 mangoes yesterday. It was an amazing experience. We got a healing session too. This guy had amazing sound bathroom in his house. And it was amazing. He's a former customer of mine from Fruit is Life. But long story short is I was hungry and none of the mangoes were ripe. So we had 100 mangoes in the car, but none of them were ripe yet. And I had finished my smoothie hours ago. And because we were waiting for Awa's cousin to land. There was such bad weather yesterday that the plane was going around in circles in the air. It couldn't land because the weather was so terrible. So it was hours later, and usually I'm much more prepared, but I didn't know we'd be out for such a long time, right? And it wasn't a big deal. I had a very big smoothie for breakfast, like 64 ounces, but I was getting hungry. And so when Awa was eating the chocolate, she stopped eating it and she asked me to put it back in the lunchbox. And before I did, I smelled it because I was hungry, and it smelled really good when she was eating it. And then I smelled it like up close, and it smelled so good. And I know that sounds a little strange, but because I don't eat things like that, I don't eat chocolate anymore. I don't eat coffee. I don't eat French fries. Sometimes I will smell it because I love the smell, especially coffee. If I'm ever around anyone that's drinking coffee, I will ask to smell it because I love the smell. But just because I love the smell does not mean that I want to eat it. And by the way, I only smelled that chocolate because I was hungry yesterday, but I would never eat it. I was hungry because I didn't know we'd be out that long, and there was at the airport, there's like no food for me. So like, I didn't even try, but we were just like circling around in the airport, waiting for her outside. And any more time than, it was a few hours, but any more time than that, I would have said, hey, I need to go stop somewhere. I'm hungry. But it wasn't that serious. I know this is going to sound strange, me smelling stuff sometimes, but this is the truth. This is the damn truth, that stuff still smells really good, pancakes and waffles. And I do ask Awa sometimes if I can smell stuff that she's eating because it's so good smelling. Like, there's a reason why I was addicted for 26 years to processed foods, French fries, coffee, chocolate, fried chicken. The smell of fried chicken still smells amazing to me. I haven't smelled it in a very long time, and I wouldn't put my face that close to a dead animal's body part again, but it still smells really good when I pass like KFC, or like if I go into McDonald's to go to the restroom on a road trip. So, I mean, I really need to emphasize this, that it will always smell good because it's designed to be delicious and addicting and smell really, really good. And so sometimes I want to smell coffee, and I used to have coffee beans in my house, just like because I love the fragrance of them. But yeah, it's always going to be there. So if you're like a cigarette smoker, you might really enjoy the smell of cigarette smoke. You'll always enjoy it. And I was talking to Awa about that because she actually used to smoke for like a really long time, and she still enjoys the taste and the smell of cigarettes. And it's like, yeah, it'll always be there. And that's okay. You don't need to eat it. That's okay. What you need to do is you need to not see that as food anymore. That's what has saved me, changing my mentality when it comes to what is food and what isn't food. If I can't eat it raw, it isn't food to me. Now, that being said, I do have survival food in the house. So like, I always keep, and this is just a habit that I've picked up for the last 12 years. Being in New York, I didn't get the quality fruit that I'm getting now. I didn't have access to things like jackfruit all the time and durian. I do get a lot of durian here, coconuts and like the mangoes and all the things that I'm getting here, right? The egg fruits and sapodilla, mame sapote, But in New York, I needed to have backup food in the house. So I picked up this habit of always making sure that I had like sweet potatoes or like some type of squash or something in the house. And that would be my backup food in case I was working really late hours. I came home one day and I didn't have frozen bananas. I didn't have fresh, ripe, juicy, delicious fruit and veggies. There was really bad quality fruit in the summer times in New York, in the winter time, sorry. Good quality in the summer, but like not so good in the winter, right? And very little things to choose from. So I always had the habit of having backup food in my house, just in case. And I used to work really, really long hours. Now I take really good care of myself, and I juice all the time, and it's a totally different life. I used to work like literally 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. every single day. So you can imagine why I needed backup food just in case. But I never really ate it. I just always liked the idea of having backup food. And I recommend this to everyone. So that being said, long story short, I always have sweet potatoes and or squashes in the house as backup food. And no, I don't really consider it food because I can't eat it raw. But it is food that lasts a really long time, that is still from the earth and is not processed at all. To me, it's healthier than something like rice or quinoa, which takes, you really have to use your imagination in order to eat it. Like you cannot. If I had to, I feel like I could eat a sweet potato raw, but like quinoa or rice or like millet, things like this, I cannot eat it raw, like physically. I will choke, trying to eat rice raw. It's so hard. And, it's so far removed from my raw vegan diet. So I hope that makes sense. And I have to say, I used to eat my backup food in New York, especially. And I think there was one time that I ate a sweet potato here in Florida a few years ago, because I don't remember why, but it's funny because actually, okay, that's another long story short. Let's not get into this tangent. I promise for this to be a short podcast. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. I don't even remember the first thing I said because this podcast went so many places. Thank you very much for listening. Oh yes, the magic of raw foods. Yeah. The fruit and vegetables, like cooked, is great and is healthy for sure. There's more than one way to heal. And I do believe it's healthy to eat cooked, oil-free, salt-free fruit and vegetables. But there's not the magic, the magical quality that I can't really describe, the vibration, the energy that's in raw foods. It's not in cooked food. So once you cook the food, it loses something. It loses that life force. It loses the enzymes that contain the life. And that's your problem. You want to be healthy, but you don't want to do what it takes. And I can't help you, boo. I can't help you. Nobody can help you. So yeah, it will be great if you join my course. If you're trying to be raw, join my course. We start on Sunday. You have 1 day left to join. Send me an email, jd@MsFitVegan.com to join. Send me the words, I am ready, and I'll send you all the information. It will be great for you to do that because you'll get a kickstart. You'll meet all these women that'll be in your community. You'll join Misfit Mondays for free forever. You'll get free access forever. You'll get all this information, hundreds of recipes. You'll get the support that you need, the accountability, and you'll feel really good. But I can't physically make you do anything. So like, you still gonna have to change. And it's like, I'm going to give you all the tools and I'm going to make it very easy for you. But if you don't change your identity, then you're not going to change. After the 6 weeks, you're going to go back. So here's what you need to do. You need to make a decision. Am I going to keep listening to and believing in this old story, or am I going to try something new? Am I going to just keep thinking the same way about myself forever, that I'm fat and lazy and I can't change? Am I going to keep repeating those affirmations, or am I going to give this a shot? Okay? Because I'm going to teach you everything to do, but I'm also going to teach you that you can't stay the same and change at the same time. It doesn't work like that. So for those of you guys that are not going to be in the course, you got to start with what you are saying to yourself every day. Just change those words. And even if it's not true, like I told you recently with my sleep issues, I just started saying, I am so happy and grateful now that I sleep straight through the night. I always fall asleep very easily and I wake up energized and refreshed every single morning. I just started saying it over and over and over while I was brushing my teeth, while I was getting ready for bed. I like to spray my bed with essential oils. While I was changing into my pajamas, obviously my watermelon pajamas. While I was pulling my hair, I like to pull my hair before bed. It helps my hair grow. While I was doing all the little things that I do before bed, right? I like to dry brush too at night. Sometimes, I'm just doing random things, cleaning up, organizing a little bit, maybe doing the dishes at night. I'm so happy and grateful now that I sleep straight through the night. I always fall asleep very easily and I wake up energized and refreshed. Anyway, speaking of which, I got to go to bed because it's 11:15 and my roommate's going to be home soon. And if I'm up and in the kitchen when she walks in the door, I'm going to be up till 2, 3 a.m. Okay? I cannot resist kikiing with my best friend. And so I don't really recommend you live with your best friend because you'll never go to sleep. You'll never want to go to sleep. Okay? Like, I know for a fact that Awa and I are soulmates because I have been friends with her for almost 20 years and I still want to talk to her all night, all day. We live together, we're texting, we're on the phone when we're out, like when we're not with each other. It's just like, this is definitely one of my soulmates. So that's the thing. I gotta go, guys. I gotta go because I'll be up all night kikiing. And by the way, let me know if you want me and Awa to do another podcast episode. We were talking about it today. We want to talk about the sex robots. Oh my gosh. Why are all the podcasts with Awa about sex? I'm going to ask her. Okay, anyway, so she wants to do another podcast on that. So let me know if you enjoyed the podcast with Awa and me the other day, and I will see you guys soon. I got to go. Bye.